What if I told you that most cancer patients don't get the full benefits from the cancer treatments given to them by their oncologist? Unfortunately, most oncologists don't give patients a real and scientifically accurate answer. Some oncologists even say, eat whatever you want, it doesn't really matter. Nothing could be further from the truth. If the cancer comes back, almost certainly it's because the stem cells of the cancer regenerated the cancer. So, good news. There are foods that can kill cancerous stem cells. Like what? Food. Welcome to Dr. Lee Unplugged, real insights from the cutting edge. This is a stripped down, no fluff conversation where I take you behind the scenes as a scientist and as a doctor to break down what's real versus what's hype when it comes to your health. It's raw, unscripted, no sugarcoating, just real talk and real science. And today, we're diving into foods you should eat if you've been diagnosed with cancer. We will explore why this matters, what the science says, and what you can do about it today. Are you ready? Let's begin. First, let's talk about foods and cancer in general, because every individual diagnosed with cancer always wonders what they did wrong that led to their cancer diagnosis. It could be genetics, environmental exposures, or a lifetime of poor diet. Many factors contribute to mutations in our body that result in cancer development. It is true, some foods can contribute to causing cancer, although it is very rare for a single food to be the sole cause. But I want to address this because many people ask, what foods did I eat, or what food should I avoid that might be causing cancer? You hear so much about harmful foods. There is a long list of foods that can increase the risk of developing cancer, and these include some disturbingly common foods like processed meat. Processed meat is classified as a Class 1 carcinogen by the World Health Organization. You might ask, what is an example of a processed meat? Sausages, hot dogs, deli meats, salami, ham, bacon, corned beef. These comfort foods we all grew up with have been shown to increase your risk of developing cancer. Eating them not once, but regularly over time with too much exposure increases your risk for digestive cancers. This includes colon cancer. This is not surprising. The meat and chemicals travel through your gut to your colon. Here's another cancer risk related to meat: grilled meats. This isn't about the meat itself. It's about the grilling process that coats meats with carcinogens, cancer-causing toxic chemicals. One of them is called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. I know it's a mouthful, so I'll abbreviate it as PAH. These carcinogens form when the oils from the fat drip down into the flame and smoke. This is what gives you that nice grilled meat taste. The rising smoke containing these carcinogens deposits them all over the meat underneath. High grilling temperatures also convert amino acids and proteins found in the meat. Proteins are made of amino acids. High heat converts them into another toxic carcinogen called heterocyclic amines, HCA. These heterocyclic amines and PAHs, by the way, if you don't carefully clean the grill surface, are all over the black char left on the grates of your grill. So, the next time you're grilling food, make sure you thoroughly clean those grates from the last cooking session, because that last grilled meat session left these carcinogens on the grilled surface. If you put a fresh piece of meat, vegetables, or fish on top of those toxic carcinogens, you will transfer them onto them, that next piece of meat. Most of us enjoy grilled foods, and it's fine to have them once in a while. But here are a couple of tips to help lower your risk of exposure to carcinogens from these foods. I promise I will tell you about foods you should eat, but first I want to point out some foods you need to be very careful about. First, the next time you grill food, be sure to clean the grill. Wipe down those grates. Get that black char off before each use and after each use so you have a better surface free of PAHs and HCAs, these carcinogens. That's tip number one. Second, don't stand over the grill too long. You know the classic image: Someone standing with an apron, hat, and tongs right over the grill. That smoke goes onto your face. And while it's part of the experience, that smoke coming off the grill contains PAHs and HCAs directly into your face. You really don't want that. So stand back from the grill when you're placing meat, fish, or vegetables on it. Third, to lower the carcinogens that develop during grilling, marinate your food, meat, fish, and vegetables. Marinate them using the juice from tropical fruits like pineapples and citrus. The juice from tropical fruits can contain antioxidants. You can also dust them with cumin and turmeric, which will also help. These antioxidants help neutralize the harmful carcinogens that can form, so you're actively fighting back against the carcinogens that can develop during grilling. Fourth, and this is the easiest, simply don't eat grilled foods too often. As I said, most of us enjoy the taste of grilled food. It's almost a human thing, like cooking over a fire. But I'm telling you right now that grilling can contribute to an increased risk of developing cancer due to the byproducts of the grilling process itself. Now, I want to focus on what foods you should eat if you've been diagnosed with cancer. As a doctor, virtually every cancer patient I've met has asked me or their oncologist, "Doc, what should I eat to help fight my cancer? What should I do at home?" Unfortunately, most oncologists don't give patients a real and scientifically accurate answer. In fact, it's unfortunate because some oncologists even say, "Eat whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Just don't lose too much weight." During cancer treatment, you can lose a lot of weight as cancer progresses. And let me tell you, when that oncologist said, "Eat whatever you want, it doesn't really matter," nothing could be further from the truth. If you want the real unplugged version of this, food matters. This is because your body is hardwired with health defense systems that help us naturally fight cancer. So when you have cancer, your health defenses have failed, and now you need to shore them back up and activate them so they can work along with medicines to help fight cancer. This isn't food versus medicine, it's food and medicine. You want to eat foods to activate those health defenses. I write about these health defenses in my book, Eat to Beat Disease. If you haven't seen it, you can get it wherever books are sold. There are 5 health defenses. All of them help us fight cancer naturally, and all of them can be activated by our food. So, what are the 5? Angiogenesis. That's how our body grows blood vessels, and it's one of the defenses against cancers that cut off the blood supply feeding tumors. The second health defense is our regeneration system. When cancer develops, your body gets rid of it, and then you need to replace where the cancer was. It can regenerate. If you're getting cancer treatment like chemotherapy, targeted therapy, or having surgery, your body has to heal after the cancer has been killed off. To heal properly, it regenerates from the inside out. You can stimulate this second health defense with food. The third is our gut microbiome. You've heard of gut health? Yes. That's 39 trillion healthy bacteria in our gut, mostly in our colon, specifically in the early part of our colon called the cecum. These healthy bacteria help lower inflammation in your body. They help boost immunity so you can fight off cancer cells. All of this combines powerfully and is activated by food to support whatever cancer treatment your doctor or oncologist gives you. So nothing could be further from the truth by saying, "If it doesn't matter, just eat anything." No, you want to eat the foods that will activate the system. The next health defense against cancer is our DNA repair and protection system. Cancer is basically a mutation of our DNA. Mutated DNA, a mutated cell, a mutant cell, leads to more mutant cells. They pile up, and then you have a cancer, a tumor. Our DNA protection system defends mutant DNA by getting rid of it or fixing it so it doesn't become a full-blown cancer. You want your DNA protection system to be strong, and foods can activate that too. Finally, our immune system does a couple of interesting things. It raises inflammation when it needs to, but cancer is a highly inflammatory disease. When cancer meets inflammation, it's like pouring gasoline onto the embers of a fire. Whoosh, it goes up in flames. That's why you want to eat anti-inflammatory foods to lower inflammation. The other thing you want to do with foods is boost your immunity. This is especially true if you're getting chemotherapy, because chemotherapy lowers your immune defenses. You need to counter that by boosting your immune system. These 5 health defenses, angiogenesis, regeneration, gut health, DNA protection, and immunity, inflammation, can powerfully influence all of these systems, helping your body contribute to beating cancer. It's quite simple, a no-brainer. Each of these systems can help tip the odds in your favor while you're getting treatment. Why doesn't the oncologist talk about this? Most doctors, including oncologists, haven't been trained to look at these health defenses. Doctors are trained to look at cancer as a bad set of cells that you have to kill using drugs. Food is not part of their traditionally taught toolbox. When I went to medical school, food was never taught. I had only 1 week of nutrition in my entire 4 years, and I had to learn everything afterwards on my own. So, you can't really blame doctors who were never educated about something. But I can tell you that the next generation, the younger oncologists, are more likely to pay attention to this because they care about food as medicine for themselves. This is another thing you might want to consider when choosing your oncologist. A younger person may not have quite as much experience as an older senior doctor, but they may have a more comprehensive, holistic approach. That's an important consideration when choosing your oncologist. As I said, the system is slowly changing, but the old guard, most of the senior oncologists, if they're interested in nutrition at all, are still learning from scratch. So the system will change, but it will be slow. When I say it matters, this is not voodoo or witchcraft. This is not hopeful kale leaf waving. There is real clinical evidence that the food you eat can make a difference in cancer outcome. Whenever I talk to a doctor and say what I just mentioned, they'll often say, "Prove it to me." Here's the proof. A study by oncologists of 826 people with stage 3 colon cancer, a pretty advanced stage, undergoing regular cancer treatment, found that those who ate 2 servings of tree nuts, 2 fistfuls, every week had a 57% improvement in survival. They received regular treatment, but eating nuts in addition to that improved their survival. Why would that be? Nuts have healthy fats that improve the immune system. Nuts are packed with dietary fiber that helps your gut microbiome, which lowers inflammation, tipping the odds in your favor of being able to beat cancer. It's not surprising, but it shows how powerful food can be. Another study of 249 people with various types of cancers, all receiving the latest type of cancer treatment called immunotherapy. This is not chemotherapy. It's a treatment where you use your body's own immune system to combat cancer. You just need to wake it up and get it charged up. Researchers based in France found that cancer patients who did not respond to immunotherapy were lacking healthy gut bacteria. Remember, gut bacteria are very powerful for lowering inflammation and boosting your immune system. This critical bacterium is called Akkermansia muciniphila. You can grow it by eating food. In fact, the only way to naturally grow Akkermansia, which was found to be needed to respond to immunotherapy, meaning helping your own immune system fight off cancer, is by eating foods that promote Akkermansia, like pomegranates, cranberries, mangoes, chili peppers, and Chinese black vinegar. These can all help grow this useful, healthy, important, immune-boosting, anti-inflammatory, metabolism-pruning bacterium called Akkermansia muciniphila. If you're battling cancer or know someone who is, you might ask, how do you know if you have Akkermansia? How do you even know? That's a good point. You can measure whether you have Akkermansia. All you need to do is order a gut microbiome test. How does that work? It's a test that comes in the mail with a tube and a swab. You simply swab your stool, put it into the vial, screw it shut, and mail it back to the lab. In a couple of weeks, you'll get an email saying your results are ready and you can see for yourself if you have Akkermansia. With a gut microbiome test, you can also see if you have harmful bacteria in your gut that might be causing inflammation. That's a big no-no. You want to get rid of those harmful bacteria and grow good ones like Akkermansia. If you're someone who says, that's too much for me, because people with cancer are often overwhelmed, then ask your oncologist, can you help me get a gut microbiome test? If they can't or won't, unfortunately, that can happen sometimes. Then you'll need to do it yourself or get a friend or family member to help order one for you. But you should take those results back to your oncologist so they can work with you and perhaps you'll teach them something along the way. If they're knowledgeable, you're giving them more information they can use as a medical professional to help fine-tune and maybe even predict whether you're going to respond to the treatment. If somebody is newly diagnosed with cancer, one of the questions is, what should I be eating right away? So let's discuss that. First, there's no simple 1, 2, 3 list because everyone is different. You've heard of personalized medicine. Well, we have personalized, individualized nutrition. That's very important to understand because every individual, every cancer patient will be different. Perhaps a cancer patient who has had diabetes will need a different food approach than someone with cancer who has celiac disease or another autoimmune disease. So as much as everyone wants a simple 1, 2, 3 checklist, you have to truly tailor it to yourself. I teach an online course called Eat to Beat Disease Course. I take people through how to know themselves, their preferences, and the foods to match what they need to fight their condition, including cancer. If you're interested in learning more, consider taking my course. I go into that very deeply. Everyone's different, but there are some general principles when it comes to selecting food as medicine for someone with cancer. So what are those general principles? Number 1, we know that cancers grow blood vessels to feed themselves. It's important to know that you can eat foods that starve cancer by cutting off their blood supply. These are called anti-angiogenic foods. Angiogenesis is the process the body uses to grow blood vessels, and it naturally grows good blood vessels to healthy organs. But whenever there's cancer, it will normally cut off the blood supply. If a cancer has already taken off and grown, somehow it has snuck around this defense and is growing blood vessels. Research I've done in the lab, which discovered angiogenesis, found that the moment blood vessels touch a cancer, that tumor can grow 16,000 times in just 2 weeks. So this is a powerful trigger for cancer growth. What do you want to eat? Anti-angiogenic foods that cut off the blood supply to tumors. Some examples include soy, tomatoes, green tea, coffee, oily fish with omega-3s or omega-3 supplements, berries, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, grapes, red grapes, and brassica vegetables. What are brassica? Vegetables. Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, bok choy, all of these foods have naturally occurring anti-angiogenic, cancer-starving substances. So when you consume them, you're helping your body choke off that cancer. You will be getting treatment, but this tips the odds in your favor. Second, remember I told you about the regenerative system? Your body can grow, regenerate good cells, and get rid of bad cells. There are also cancer stem cells, and there are foods that can kill them. What is a cancer stem cell? It's a very dangerous cell, like baby cancer cells, that lives inside the cancer and helps it come back. You know that person who had cancer, was successfully treated, and then they're just watching and waiting as a doctor tells them, let's wait and see what happens. That's a mistake. When cancer comes back, what you should be doing is eating foods and changing your lifestyle to put you in a cancer fighting mode. If cancer returns, it's almost certainly because the cancer's stem cells regenerated it. Our healthy stem cells can regenerate healthy organs, but cancer stem cells regenerate, you got it, the cancer. So, good news. There are foods that can kill cancerous stem cells. Like what? purple potatoes. The anthocyanins that make purple potatoes purple kill colon cancer stem cells. Green tea kills cancer stem cells, and so does coffee. Get your morning coffee. That's good for cancer fighting. As I mentioned before, tree nuts like walnuts can be very helpful. We also know that a strong immune system can wipe out cancer cells. So, what are some immune boosting foods you can eat to beat cancer? Broccoli sprouts. These are the 3 to 4 day old baby broccoli, and they powerfully stimulate your immune system. Blueberries, just a couple, will boost your immune defenses so you're better able to beat cancer. These include T cells and natural killer cells. Yes, even tiny blueberries will ramp up your body's immune defenses. Chili peppers do that as well. Now, what about gut health? The gut microbiome. Remember, I told you the healthy gut microbiome lowers inflammation? So, how do you get that to happen? If you eat prebiotic foods such as polyphenols and dietary fiber, you feed your gut bacteria. When you feed your gut bacteria with polyphenols and dietary fiber, they produce short chain fatty acids. These short chain fatty acids get into your blood and lower inflammation. Remember, inflammation is like pouring gasoline onto a fire. Whoosh! When your gut bacteria are happy, they provide anti-inflammatory substances, these short chain fatty acids, releasing them into the bloodstream, which calms down the fire. It's like spraying a fire extinguisher onto a campfire. Lowering that inflammation is a very good thing, and healthy gut bacteria boost your immune system for killing cancer cells. This is all moving in the right direction. So, what are some high fiber, prebiotic type foods? Lentils, chickpeas, beans of any sort, white beans, black beans, mushrooms, even the common white button mushroom is good, and avocado, a great source of dietary fiber. Raspberries, even though they're small, light, and hollow, are pound for pound one of the fruits with the most dietary fiber, and they taste great too. Another way you can get your gut healthier is to eat probiotic foods like fermented foods such as kimchi and sauerkraut. Those might not be to everyone's taste, but most people like whole, full-fat yogurt. Don't worry, the bacteria in yogurt will help lower your blood cholesterol. So, full fat is actually better for you. I've just told you. There are foods you can eat that can boost your body's natural health defenses. I gave you specific foods and explained how they will work to help mount your own defense against cancer. This is a very powerful way, by the way. As I'm going to say it again, this is not a substitute for cancer therapy or medical therapy. This is to augment your own body. Like Tony Stark and Iron Man, you augment yourself to have that shield, that suit that can be helpful. That's what you're doing when you're eating foods to boost your immune system. Let the doctor give you your sick care when you're at the infusion clinic or in a medical center. When you go home, that's healthcare. Now you're boosting your own health defenses. So remember, food is not a substitute. Food is not a cure, but it is a vital tool in your toolbox. Every cancer patient needs a good oncologist to give them the best comprehensive care. Hopefully, your oncologist will know how to talk to you about food, but maybe he or she won't. But they should be able to give you all these other advanced treatment modalities. Immunotherapy is the most cutting edge right now, but they should also be helping you with your food as medicine to eat to beat cancer. If they can't, you just do it yourself. You don't need permission to know what to eat. Look it up yourself or watch this video again. That's it for today on Dr. Lee Unplugged. Now you know the real deal behind food and cancer, but there's even more you can do to take control of your health. So, if you found this video interesting and useful, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss my next deep dive into a food and medicine subject. If you're serious about your health, using food as medicine, watch my next video. You won't want to miss it. See you there. If you like that video, then you'll love this one. Check it out.